Shalom, I'm Rabbi Bonnie Sharfman, and on behalf of the Jewish Community Relations Council of Greater Phoenix, we're pleased to be able to share with you this short video featuring reflections of several rabbis in our community addressing the topic of civility, unity, and healing in our community in the wake of this turbulent political season. Deeply ingrained in our tradition is a respect for Machloket, for argumentation, the Shemayim, for the sake of heaven. In other words, argumentation to seek truth without disparagement. Thank you for watching.
In April of 1968, the late Senator Robert Kennedy had to share the news with followers in Indianapolis living in a primarily black neighborhood that the Reverend Martin Luther King Jr. had just been assassinated. Within his speech of beautiful prose, he shared, "What we need in the United States now is not hatred or violence or lawlessness, but compassion and wisdom. Compassion toward one another and a feeling of justice toward those who are still suffering in our country." I hope you have the opportunity to hear his larger speech, but on this day, I pray that his words and the spirit of what he shared will bring some measure of hope and, I pray, healing as we walk together through these very polarized times. May these words be an inspiration to us as we continue to journey toward creating a more perfect union. And of course, may God bless the United States of America with peace and compassion and wisdom in the weeks to come.
Hello, everyone. Thank you to the JCRC for putting this project together. As we continue to await election results, one thing has become clear, and that is that no party has all of the answers. No individual has a universally agreed upon way forward. So the moment calls for some calm, some patience, and some thoughtful analysis. I wonder if we might all ask ourselves, what is it about the messages that I feel so strongly about that's not resonating with all of America? How can I use that to learn and to grow as a passionate citizen of this country? I'm wishing you blessings. I'm wishing blessings and peace for our beloved United States of America.
So how do we move forward as a country? How do we move forward as a community? The answer is one step at a time. As a community, as a country, we must keep moving. Many times we don't know whether what we're doing makes a difference, but we each still have a role to play. We each must personally address the question, in what way will we each individually leave the world better than we found it? And Judaism says through the acts of tikkun olam, through the acts of doing Jewish. And there is so much to be done. There's much to be done in our community. There's much to be done in our state. There's much to be done in our country. And as a newly united, extended family, we can do it together. May peace and goodwill befall all the inhabitants of our land. May our doing Jewish spread its blessings among us and exalt our nation in righteousness. As together we say, Amen. May God bless America.
Hello, friends. Each time I attend a funeral, a thought comes to mind. As I hear these glorious eulogies, I ask myself, what happened to all of the contemptible people in this world? Do they not die? Or do they change when they die? Do they all of a sudden become saints when they die? And the answer, my friend, is telling. No, people do not change when they die. We change when they die. You see, during their lifetime, we may have been caught in all sorts of negative trivialities that we forgot to see the good in them. And then they die. Then we start seeing the big picture. Then we start appreciating the light that they shone, the good that they did, the beautiful lives that they led. But this begs the question, do we have to wait for people to die in order to appreciate them? Do we have to first lose a person before we can truly find him or her? Do the sentences of I love you have to wait until a person transitions from this world to the next? Friends, this thought has been reverberating in my mind as of late. During this election season, we have seen many walls of resentment and of animosity being built between people. And therefore, I turn to you today. Let us gather together and continue to see the good in everyone, to continue to focus on the image of God with which everyone was created with. Indeed, I beg you, don't wait for death to direct your attention to the light and to the good in every person. Don't wait until the last day to express your words of your heart and the love of your soul with positive speech and action. Let us see the good in each other now, today, tomorrow, and forever.
From a 16th century rabbi, Yaakov Yosef of Ostrov, I'd like to offer some thoughts for dealing with residual anger. Guard against anger, writes the rabbi. I once saw an explanation of why there were cherubs in the temple and why there are cherubs in heaven, angels whose faces are like a child's. When a person is angry and picks up a baby, his anger is quieted. Playing with babies can make us happy. So too, when the Holy One wants not to be angry with this world, the Holy One rides on the cherubs and plays with them. And in this way, compassion fills the world. If you're feeling angry at those with whom you disagree, imagine them as they were as infants and children. The vulnerability of babies can open us to compassion and let our anger find another home. And if we each do this, it will allow us to feel connected to our fellow Jews and fellow citizens so that we can find our way forward together. So may it be.
My dear friends, surely you know the famous Jewish teaching, love your neighbor as yourself. Rabbi Akiva taught us that this is a cardinal principle of the Torah. The Talmud tells us that Rabbi Akiva, had 24,000 students that died through a plague. Why, says the Talmud? Because they disrespected each other. And the obvious question is, how can the very students of this amazing teacher and sage who taught us, love your fellow as yourself, disrespect each other? And the Rebbe answers that it was precisely the love they had for each other, where each one wanted to persuade his friends that they should serve God according to the way he understands it, my way, leaving no room for the perspective of others. And today, our society is plagued by indifference and intolerance to the thoughts and perspectives of others. Each one of us think, my candidate, my party will be best for the country, best for the Jewish people, best for Israel, leaving no room for the other. But it is respect that is the antidote to the plague of intolerance. Let us respect each other, even when we disagree. And may God see how we treat each other with love and respect. And may He take away this plague of COVID, at which time we will once again be able to break bread together, celebrate with family and friends, Shabbat and holidays, and as a community. And until the ultimate gathering and celebration with the coming of Mashiach, may we merit that now. May God bless America, and may He keep our community united. Thank you.
I'm grateful to the Jewish Community Relations Council for bringing us together. I envision a paradoxical unity for our community, one that celebrates and respects diversity, what we look like, how we practice Judaism, how we express our love for America, for Israel, and the world, a vision that embraces pluralism. Yet don't confuse pluralism for relativism. Unity, I humbly and resolutely believe, will come only when we can agree upon a short list of core Jewish values, those that represent the essence of being a Jew. Only then will we have a common foundation upon which to stand. Only then will we be joined in common cause to go forth and bring healing to our country and our planet.
Hi, I'm Yisrael Isaacs, rabbi at Beth Joseph Congregation in Central Phoenix. Our recent elections have only confirmed what we already know to be a deep and raw political and cultural divide hounding our country. I believe that this is a leadership opportunity for us as the Jewish community to help forge a path forward. Some claim that all this nation's many particular ethnicities divide it. There's no better time to show how ethnicity can unite us, even though we have differences as Jews among ourselves. Often vociferous religious, political, and cultural differences, our shared history and vision nevertheless pull us together, sometimes more successfully than others. We all care about Jewish continuity. We all care about Israel, and we all care about our communities vulnerable. When we as Jews, despite our differences, join forces and get behind what matters to all of us, we can be a model for a divided nation to find and focus on its own common ground as a way to move forward. Thank you to Paul and the JCRC for putting this video together.
Friends, after this fateful election, our country, and indeed our Jewish community, will need healing. We will need to learn how to come together and trust each other once again. But this is not some false unity. This is a true unity built upon difference. That in fact, we should passionately disagree. We should bring our differences to the table and argue respectfully. The Jewish tradition is built upon Machloket, a Talmudic discourse of disagreement. And so Jewish pluralism is about bringing our truths into the public sphere, into our communal space, but also humbly creating space for other people's truths as well. We can heal, we can come together, we can learn together. And friends, this is a reminder that our Jewish identity is greater than any political identity. We should passionately hold our political identities, our moral convictions. And yet we should understand that being a Jew means being a part of the eternal enterprise of the Torah, which transcends any political identity. May we come together to bring healing to our country and our community together.